correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
And to have the data.
Yes, of course. But from price effects modules, I mean. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so the recording has begun and I'm seeing people starting to join. So welcome to all our partners that are beginning to join. We'll be starting shortly in just a few minutes. All right, I'm still seeing some partners filling in, but I'd like to get started so we stay true to our time. So for those of you that are already here, welcome to our second part of our Accelerator series for partners and enablement. So thank you for joining us today. The topic will be specific to our Sales Insights package. We have our amazing Mariana and Thorsten joining us again today to give our partners a high-level overview of what to expect with this specific package and how they can utilize this and leverage that in their sales cycles with current customers or potential prospects. So thank you for joining us today. I'd like to kick things off with passing it over to Mariana to begin her part of the presentation. Mariana?
Yeah, hi, Matt. Hi, I'm very happy and very glad to be here, and especially because we managed to arrange our second webinar after summer vacation, and some of you are very impatient and were reaching out when this session will be and when Thorsten and I will be able, together with Matt, to set it up together. And I'm very glad that we finally found time and that you managed to tune in today as well. So as you already know, our today's session is Sales Insight Package, and Sales Insight Package is our second Accelerator package. And this package, I can say, was developed in price effects fashion. And why? Because it stands for fast, flexible, and friendly. Fast, it means that you can deploy it really fast and you can have immediate benefit. Flexible, you can adapt it really fast to customer-specific configuration during deployment. And friendly, it can be used for existing customer installation and new projects with no extra costs. The only condition for Sales Insights package is that your customers use Price Analyzer and have their own existing data. But before we deep dive with Thorsten into specifics, I wanted to actually highlight some facts that you can have benefit of and maybe you'll be facing in the near future. So please know that I will also reiterate some facts, something that we already discussed in our last session. And this is because we have some new partners joining. Some of you were not able to attend our last session, and some of you already also reached out to us and there were some unclarity or wanted us to, just to give some more information about that and to be more specific. So actually, for the first slide, approaching accelerators, I wanted to give you a story how we actually come up with this series, how we decided to put these webinars together, and why I believe that this is interesting not only for our system integrator but also for our strategy partners. So the story behind this was actually Matt, our marketing specialist, Torsten, our product manager, and his boss. So we sat together and we actually worked on the content, wanted to make this very interesting to every single one of you, and to for you, in order to understand the scope, to be familiar with our out-of-the-box functionalities, and when you go out there and talk to your potential customers, that you have the best tools, the best knowledge, the best content that you can provide to the customers. And the story that I'm telling and why I'm telling it is because the first question that was actually asked to me was why strategy partners, or how strategy partners can benefit from accelerators. Why is this of interest for strategy partners? And as you can imagine, I had to come up with some very good bullet points, some very good feedback. So in order to convince our product management and to give him good, explanation and good story behind. And also I remembered, because few of you already had a lot of discussions with me and with our other partner managers, either our existing strategy consulting partners or potential partners. And we were always discussing what price effects can offer and how you can envision yourself approaching our out-of-the-box functionalities. So the first bullet point I come up was with that our strategy partner needs to understand the product in order for you to position this during sales cycle. So when you sit down with your customers, when you define those requirements, it is my goal for you to understand and to know upfront what is the scope of our out-of-the-box functionalities, which accelerators we have, so that you can recognize that within requirements that you define and work on together with your potential customers. And also that you know, and you can say to your potential customer, hey, PriceFX has, for example, Sales Insights package. 70% of your requirements actually fit into that scope. And how about us introducing you to that accelerator, and then we can, on top of that, define the requirements that are not in the scope of the accelerator. And after accelerator project goes live, we can sit together and define how those change requests can be adjusted and implemented, defined on the needs of the customer, and how fast can that be, so that at the end of the day, the customer can get that entire solution that they can benefit from. And of course, it is my goal to leverage your skills, your consulting skills, and on the other hand, that you know which customers are the best fit for the accelerators, the customers who don't have a lot of budget, the customers who don't have a lot of resources to invest into defining that best pricing solution that their company can have. And by working with some accelerators, the customer can get that first insights within PriceFX. But on the other hand, they can also be able to reach specific KPIs and maybe sit together with their manager and say, hey, maybe there is something else. We can define some specific KPIs for our product, for our company, where we can reach our goals and make an impact on the market. And for our strategy partners, well, there's actually another story I would like to tell you. So as you know, we work a lot with strategy partners, but also with system integrator. So another story was that I talked 10 days ago, I believe, with one of our strategy partners, and they asked me, okay, so if we understand the scope of the accelerators, if we are able to offer that to our prospects, is there opportunity for us in order to connect with your system integrator? Is it possible for us to work with them? Because as you can imagine, some strategy partners don't want to hire immediately some resources or don't want to learn how to deploy those accelerators. So there are two possibilities. One, to work with PriceFX, right? So PriceFX deploys those accelerators. And on the other hand, you can connect with one of our system integrators who is already familiar with the deployment and who will then step in and do the deployment. And at the end of the day, the entire solution will be then deployed, and after go live, you can also define those additional requirements that the customer would like to have, and you can offer an entire solution. And on the next slide, basically this slide is the slide from the last session. And as you can remember, if some of you attended, we already went through that. So the most important from you to take away from today's session is that what really accelerators stand for is fast time to value on one hand that PriceFX can bring in, and on the other hand, what's expected from end customer or Mr. Customer, right? So which data they need to bring in order for us to offer them accelerators. And my last slide is actually a really important one. So a lot of you asked me, well, let me give you another story. So I have one partner who is now about to close a deal for 2 specific accelerators. And he asked me, how can I position this during the sales cycle? So please reach out to your partner manager and to your account executive in order to discuss the price of the accelerator. But on the other hand, what's really important here for me in order to walk you through is what expert services for accelerators. Are you able to deploy this on your own? What's the duration and what's the cost? So let me give you 2 examples. So I have one partner, and this is an advanced partner, meaning that they already have 2 or 3 successfully delivered projects. And for them, in order to deploy accelerators, the best way would be for us to offer them expert services. For example, we can determine how complex the solution is, and how many guidance they need. So we can discuss that together with our partner and define the cost, and then you can add that offering or that number to your offering towards your potential customer. So that means that through the expert services, we will guide you. You will do the deployment of accelerators on your own, and for the next project, you will already be fit to go, meaning that you already be up to task and you will be able to do the deployment on your own without our help. If you're our new partner, meaning that you don't have any successfully delivered projects and you are still uncertain how to work within PriceFX framework, in that case, we would suggest, and we, of course, we can, still discuss it with you. And if you believe you're confident, maybe we can come up with another approach. And PriceFX is always tries to be supportive and to bring the best possibilities to our partners. Well, in that case, if you're new, so the best way would be for us to guide you and to do the actual implementation. That PriceFX does the implementation, and you are shadowing us, and we are still guiding you. So if you feel comfortable, you will maybe pick up on few tasks, and after the project goes live, you can sit together with the customer, see what other requirements are there to be done, some additional that are not in the scope of the accelerators, and you can do that deployment on your own with some of our guidance. So, current accelerator packages. As you are familiar, so last time we had a session together with Torsten, and today, as mentioned, we will discuss Sales Insights package. And I will here pass it now to Torsten. And if you have any other questions for me towards sales cycle or expert services or some other questions, for example, towards some specific accelerators, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marianne, for a nice introduction again. Today we are talking about Sales Insight Accelerator. Saying that this slide is outdated since a couple of hours because we published another accelerator, the e-commerce price setting accelerator, so tailored for B2C price setting in e-commerce business. And we are ready to launch yet another one. It's the Customer Insights package. So maybe at the end, we will have some minutes looking at it because it's similar to Sales Insight package. But first, we start with a Sales Insight package. What is it? It is basically an overview for the customer, for our customers, how they are doing business-wise. So they can gain insights about their profitability. They can see the best and worst profitable products and customers. So the whole package is showing everything from the both directions with a product view and customer view. They can have insights in their price waterfall to detect margin leakages, analyze it, and detect pricing opportunities. So Marianne mentioned it is the second accelerator. So basically, it's the first one. Yeah. So we started with the Price Insights Accelerator as the first one. It was called Template because we were asked by so many prospects and customers, hey, what are the standard analytics capabilities Price of X has? Yeah, so we decided to use this as an anchor point to create ready-to-use out-of-the-box functionality inside Price of X, and there the Accelerator project was born. So it's more or less a collection of standard dashboards we provide, and they are useful or interesting to almost every of our customers. And that makes them so great because we can deploy it to existing customers and they can gain instant business value, or we can deploy it for prospects when entering the POC phase. We just need their data and we deploy it. You can see it in a few minutes that it's really guided and easy. And we have these dashboards out of the box. So we have something to analyze revenue and margins. We can see outliers. We have something about waterfalls with a waterfall comparison. So compared to products, product groups, to time series or different customers. And then we have some more or less descriptive dashboards like the revenue and margin breakdown. And we have something where we can show the regional distribution of some interesting KPIs. So we will see every one of them very soon in detail here in slides and even in live demo today. So we are starting how can we bring it to the customer? So it's a really fast process. We do it via our platform manager. So it's kind of a self-service portal here. I guess most of you will have access. If not, you can request it. And we can deploy it in two flavors. We can deploy it as single accelerator. So saying that it is already customer of Price of X. So we can deploy it without uploading the new data, but tailoring it to the existing partition, or we can deploy it as whole accelerator package, including upload of all the mandatory data. So what do we need? At least we need some product data. Mandatory is here product ID and product label, so that we are knowing from what products we are talking about. And we can have, of course, our 30 custom product attributes. Customer is optional. Yeah, that's because it can be used in B2B and B2C, and mostly in B2C, customer is not that interesting, so they might not be interested in this analysis and skip just the customer. Whereas in B2B, it's very common to have a dedicated look at the customer dimension as well. When we have customer, we need, of course, their ID and their name, and it would be good to have some attributes. We will see it later why. We need, of course, sales data, so transactions on line item level. So there are some mandatory things like the ID, the product, the pricing date, invoice price, the margin quantity. And of course, when we have customers, we need the customer ID. When we have currency, unit of measure, it's good to fill them here to have a complete picture. And we can have the additional waterfall fields in the transaction data when they are available. So we can see it later that we can define and map all what we have to our data. So how can it be deployed to the partition? We have our platform manager. Don't know if any one of you have seen it, but when you're there, we have a brand new section like Marketplace. And in this Marketplace, we find our currently available Accelerator packages. These are the packages we've seen at some slides ago, like the CPQ, the price setting package we were talking about last time, the price flexibility rebate management, the mentioned brand new e-commerce package, and of course the sales insights package. So when you're there in the marketplace, it's just like an app store. So you can click the deploy button, and then you will be prompted to choose a partition where you want to deploy it. Yeah, of course, you have access to your to the partitions belonging to your account. So it will be set up that your customers will be there, and you need write access to the partitions here. And then you can just pick your partition where you want to deploy it and start deployment. So first thing will be the product master. So we are seeing here that there are several steps, like the product master first, then the customer, the transaction data, some filters, what dashboards we want to deploy, and the configuration. So we are starting with product data upload. You can download here a sample file to see the structure, but it's more or less a simple CSV file. The naming and the order is you're free to select it, and you can just click and drag and drop your CSV file with customer product data here. Once it's here, it's being uploaded, and you see just a sample. So the first 3 lines from it, we see here was a headline. So it was product ID, product name, unit of measure, and so on. And here you can define what is your separator, if you have a quote character, escape character, what is your decimal separator, and what is your date format. So the first things you have to define after uploading your CSV file. And in the second step, you are asked by the system for the mandatory fields. Yeah? So for product ID, product name was mandatory. So we have to select what of them are product ID, product name. So here the name is matching. And then we have the recommended optional fields like currency and unit of measure. When it's there, it's cool and good because all the transaction data will be converted later with this. If you don't have a currency, it's no problem. You can just mark it as a skip currency. Then there will be no currency conversion in the dashboards, and continue with the process. Next thing is you can have your up to 30 business attributes. So here are some common ones like product groups, product life cycle, product type, the weight. So the system tries to define the data type. So there are some strings, there are some numbers, there are some dates. So system tries to get a best guess, but if you know it better, you can of course change from string to number and so on. For example, for the costs, it can be a good idea. And you can even skip these when you don't need them. And then you can give the label in price of X. So at the moment, it's taking the name from the headlines, but you can, of course, rename and remap it there. Then when we continue, it's setting up the product master. So all the CSV file will be processed to price of X. Metadata will be created. And when we then enter the price of X partition, there will be filled and maintained product table. We have more or less the same for the customer data. It's again, drag and drop the file. it's defining the basic things like the separator, date format, and so on. We have the mandatory data mapping for customer ID, customer name, and the optional fields again. So it's uploading it into price of X partition. Then you will have a customer master, product master table. Of course, you can skip the customer master step because it's not mandatory. Then one of the most important things when you want to do sales insights analysis is the transaction data. So again, we need CSV file. You can download sample here. Just give it to the customer and tell him that we need data in this way, and we can upload it here. So now you see this can take a little bit longer because files will maybe be larger. So this step can take several minutes. And that's why I have slides and don't show it in live system, because there will be some jobs taking several minutes, and this is not demoable. So after uploading, which will take for these things some minutes, we have the same window again. We have the basic things, separator, date format, and so on. We can see again first 3 lines of sample data so that we can use it as orientation. And next step is again the data mapping. So it's asking for the mandatory fields. This is a little bit more. We need customer ID, gross margin, invoice price, the date, and so on. I was showing it at the beginning in the table. And the optional fields or recommended fields like currency and unit of measure. So here in this data source, we have currency and unit of measure, so we can define it. And then we have one last step with some very detailed information. So we will have price waterfall data. So in order to get this, we have we call it standard waterfall elements. Like you can see here from the global to local price, from local list price to invoice price, from invoice to net price, the real list price from margin to gross margin. So you can define the fields you have in your data mart. The more you have in your data, the more you can fill in here. But of course, you can skip it, but then you won't have it in this granularity later in the system. So this is our deepest waterfall we are supporting at the moment. You can see later it's really big. Then it's updating the partition again. It's creating the data source, and you see here this can take up to 30 minutes because it's doing some stuff in the background. It's creating a data source. It's syncing the product table with the product data source, the customer table with the customer data source, and building a data mart on top of it. So this really can take some time. And so Platform Manager reminds you can here just toggle on the email notification. You can exit your browser tab, go grab a coffee or so on, and the system will work in the background. And once it's ready, you will be notified by some email with a link where you can just continue the process when the Price of X platform was working for you in the background. So one of the last steps is to define what dashboards should be deployed. So default is all of the dashboards I will show you in some minutes will be deployed. You can, of course, just deploy a subset of them when you don't need any. And it's importing the thing, and the last thing is the last setting. So here you can see some kind of summary, yeah. What data mart is used, what are the field names, and so on. You can then pick up some dimensions for products for the aggregation, so we can later have some aggregated reports on the business unit, on the product class, or whatever we pick from here. And we can do the same for the customer fields. It will take region, country, city, and so on, what should be and can be in the data. And basically, these two screens will be the deployment when you're deciding to deploy to existing partition. Yeah. So what you've seen at the moment is creating everything from scratch with product data, transaction data, customer data, and then mapping it all together. When you decide just to deploy the single accelerator, just the dashboards without the data, you will be starting with this screen where you can define all your existing things and tailor it together. And so deployment will be smooth and short. Yes. So after that, congratulations, Accelerator was deployed successfully. So this process will take half an hour when your data is okay and good. So maybe you will need some more time to talk to your customer what you need, so you can send them the sample files like we need product data, customer data, transaction data. They should look this way. So you can give them the 3 files and they can send it back to you and you can deploy it for them. And even maybe in the future, it's fully self-service for the customers. So they can even play around with it and only need help when they need something adapted. So let's start with the dashboard. So I will show you all of them in the live system right now. So this is the time when I switch from the PowerPoint to my screen share. So now you're on my local machine. And we start with the first dashboard. It's about revenue and margin. So it helps to visualize the relationship between those two KPIs from different perspectives. So this dashboard is existing of several portlets. So we have some of them for showing revenue and margin. We have all of the analysis done per product side and from the customer side. It will be clear when I show it. And then we have some scattered charts analyzing. We see revenue and margin contribution to the overall revenue, and we have our per Pareto charts. So it's looking like this. You enter price of X, and with the dashboards, you can select the deployed dashboards. I opened the revenue and margin here. So when you're starting, it's just loading it. And these are the different portlets. I just go briefly through them. So first is revenue and margin over time. So we have the revenue per margin. We can see here it's increasing through the quarters, even the revenue and the margin. We have some scattered charts. It's showing the revenue per margin. So we have here the revenue on the X and the margin on the Y axis, showing you some lines for orientation. These lines are set to I think it's the 10% coverage of margin. So 10% of the margin is below this line, and 10% of the revenue is below this. So here in the left bottom corner are your customers or your products in this case with low revenue and low margin, and here are the high performers. So let me tell something about the input fields here. We have some filter fields here. We can filter it by product groups. We can filter it by customers, by products and by customers. And we can, of course, limit it just to product groups or everything. Yeah? We have here the business unit, for example, so we can just limit it to the food business unit. So we approve this. We reload the dashboard, and it's just using data from business unit food. So it's looking a little bit different. The lines are different, and so on. Then we can, of course, limit it by the date. So we can decide date from date 2. We can decide the time period here. So at the moment it's showing up the quarters here. For the last 12 months, we can of course drill it down to a monthly basis if we are interested in monthly basis time period. So we can see the 12 months here. We have product aggregation, customer aggregation. These are the fields that we can choose during deployment time. Here, so the the most granular one is aggregated on product ID. So this will be showing up in the other dashboards here. We can of course aggregate it by our attributes, or for the customers, we can aggregate it by the country. So at the moment here, each bubble is one customer. And when we aggregate it by the country, then each bubble will be one customer in one country. Yeah? So now we have them here. So we have band by. This is specific for this revenue and margin dashboard, whereas the first input fields will be available in all fields. Yeah. So this will be the band by color for the scattered charts here. Yeah? We have it by product ID. So every product ID has another color, and we can say that we want to have the product class used here. So you can see that your product class C will be the green ones, your product class D will be the orange ones. Yeah, and whenever you hover above one bubble, you can see all the KPIs, like what is it? It is product ID. What is the revenue? What is the margin? Here from product and from customer side. We have the contribution and the Pareto, something similar. So for example, here, it's telling how many products you need to achieve some kinds of your revenue. Yeah. So in this case, you have 28% of your revenue with 11 products, and you have 90% of your revenue with 39 of your products, where you have 47 products in at all. Of course, you can, this is by revenue and by margin. So here, for example, 46% of your revenue will be done by 18 products, and 46% of your margin will be done by 17 products. You can go drill in here. So you can open one of these buckets, and you see the 4 most contributive products to this bucket and the rest. Yeah, so you can drill in every your most profitable products here. You can see they are these ones. Yes, so you can do analysis here, and same for the customers. You see 37% of your revenue you're gaining with these 2 customers, and you see it's customer 1 in Germany, because this is still aggregated by customer, by country. So when we are looking here, it's looking different. Now we have 37% of our revenue, and we see here the largest ones contributing to this bucket. Then we have the Pareto chart. This is widely seen as important. It's one of the first you want to see when you enter your customer, to have feeling how their business is working. So it's basically saying how many SKUs you need to get a certain level of revenue. So we can define that we want to how many buckets we want to have, and then it's equally distributing our products in here. Yeah, so we can see we need 16 products for this bucket range. Same for the cumulated contribution margin. So you can see that you make almost half of your revenue with these products, and you can have a feeling how many expensive high sellers you have, or how many not so performing products you have. Same for the customer side. Yes. So this gains insight how the revenue spread of your product is. Yeah, so it can be used, for example, on the customer side, to talk to your customer for firing customers. So maybe not stopping making business with them, but to make a plan how to force them to pay more, because they really are not very much contributing to our overall revenue. So maybe they have to be transferred to a different channel or something. Here, so these charts, or basically the whole dashboard, is some kind of topic starter when we start talking with our customer about price optimization and so on. Yeah, of course we have some more things to configure here. This is, for example, linear or logarithmic axis. We can filter our data by anything we want. Yep, that's it. So the next dashboard I want to show you.
Hey, Thorsten, one quick
Yep.
question we got that I was hoping we could maybe answer right now while you have this dashboard up. One
Yep.
of our partners asked if, let me see, can we switch to a data view in the nice charts to review the actual data and further use it? Is that possible?
Yes, we can export them. We have to dive into the data source, so it's not like show this as from the data side, but it will be possible in the future again, because in classic PriceFX user interface, for each of these portlets, it was possible to go to the data lying there. So I guess it will be added in Unity interface somewhere. But of course, it's possible to dive into the data mart and extract the data by your own.
Great, thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay, this was the revenue and margin. We have the outliers. So you can select what KPI you're interested in to detect outliers. So saying what are your best and worst performing products and customers. And this is shown in different charts. So let's take a look at it live in the system. So it's looking like that. Again, we have these data filtering here. Here we have the specific inputs for this dashboard. So let's say we're using the revenue as KPI. So it's showing us a table with the 10 best and worst performing products and the best and worst performing. Okay, this is customers, this is products. So you can of course rearrange your data whenever you want. You can resize it so you can adapt your dashboard to your needs. And again, here I aggregated by product class. So let's go one step back and go to the product ID. So now we really see the top 10 and flop 10 products in our portfolio, and same for the customers. We can decide if we want to have 10 or even the first 100, and we can decide if we want it ordered by revenue. So maybe it's useful to have it by margin to show me the product with the lowest margin, because we see here that we have we make margin with this test 2 product, but when we are saying we want to have it by the margin percent, we see that there are, I guess, products with even lower margins. Yeah. So same for the customers. Then we can have a look in how products are performing and customers are performing in the pie chart to have a little bit better analysis. We see here the product performance. We have 2 high performing products and 45 low performing. So let's go back to revenue maybe. Yep. Now we see that we have 10 high performing products, and we can drill in here and see them, and can go back and analyze here our outliers, so the best and worst performing products and customers. So this is about the outliers dashboard. The next is the waterfall. So we have our standard waterfall. You can define in the deployment time how deep you want to have it, and you have some portlets like the waterfall itself, but you can have even some waterfall comparison set. You want to compare to time periods, to products or product groups, or to customers and customer groups. So starting with the waterfall, it's looking like this. We can choose if we want to see the absolute values here, or if we want to have it in percentage, and we can say that we want to have the absolute detail. So saying here, it's a really deep waterfall. I guess most of the data we receive will not be able to go into this detail, but yeah, you can show what you have in the data. So you can see here, for example, you're on the list price, you have your on invoice discounts, and again you can drill in and see the contributors here, like volume discounts, free giveaways, and so on. Back to high level, we can see our up charts is what we have here, freight, installation, and so on. So we can analyze our waterfall. Next is the waterfall comparison. So it's similar. We can decide what we want to compare, what if we want to compare two dates. So at the moment we are comparing from January 19, so basically the year 19 to the year 18, and we see the global list price and at the end the gross margin, and we can look at every step what are the differences from year to year. Now, of course, we can say we want to compare products. So now we have to specify products, but of course we can do it on every comparison we want to. So this is the waterfall comparison. Now we have some causality dashboards, like showing what's the difference in revenue between two periods, and you can compare how they are, why they're. You can trace down the differences. Yeah, so you have lost business, so it's taking transaction in the time frame. With all the customers selling products with buying products, but not buying in the same products in the comparison time frame. Here we have price effects, like we are trying to isolate customers buying the products with different prices. We isolate transactions with same products, same customers at the same prices, but different volumes. We have differences. We isolate portfolio mixes and other effects, and of course new businesses. And we will do the same for margin. And we can see it here. It's looking something like this. So we can say we want to compare 2019 Q3 with 2018 Q4. So in Q4 2018 we had this revenue, and in Q3 to 2019 we have this revenue, and then from the transactions we are seeing this causality. So there were some customers not buying our products again. There were some customers buying the same products for higher prices. There are customers buying the same products with the same price but lower quantities, and there are not that much customers buying the products that have not bought in the period before. So again, we can of course limit it to products, to customers, to product groups. Yeah, like for example, when we have just beverages, we can have the same description, like having it in here. Here it's even worse. So we really lost customers buying, and we have much customers buying for buying less quantities. Yeah, so we can use this for revenue descriptions, and we of course have the same for margin. These are different periods because now it's looking much better in Q3 2016 compared to Q2 2018. There were volume changes, the customers buying more, the new customers buying. There are not many customers buying not anymore. We were able to reduce our costs, and yeah. And of course, in margin calculation, there are different calculation types. By the way, this is all available in public documentation of the accelerators, where all the mathematical calculations are really listed up. So you can look on it on your own. So this was the margin breakdown, and then I have one more dashboard. It's distribution around the map. So we have different KPIs, and we can have some heat map, some regional heat map to show difference between regions, countries. Again, looking from different views. So I was not opening this, but that's no problem. Let's open it. So here we have the map, and we see we have revenue as KPI. So whenever we hover one region, we see all the KPIs we have there, like quantity, revenue, margin percent, deviation from weighted average price, revenue per customer, revenue per 1,000 people, and so on. So we can have a first view. And of course, we can drill in here. Unfortunately, it's not supported to drill in here live in the map, so it's only a view feature. We have to go in there and say we're interested in Europe, for example. So we reload the dashboard again, and we see all the countries in Europe with a different revenue distributions. And of course, we can say when we are in the Americas, we want to see the US. We have it here, so we can see there that New York is causing much revenue. So maybe we can check what is the revenue per 1,000 people. So we can see that the revenue per 1,000 people is more or less equally distributed in the US, whereas other things are locally different. Yes, and that was the Accelerate Sales Insight package. So it's very fast to deploy. So it's you can instantly have business value. It's flexible because you can use it on existing customer data, or you can set up new partition with your customer data and tailor it to it. And it's friendly because it causes instant business value. You can talk to your customer. You can use it as topic starter for new pricing strategies, or for showing them that we are able to show them much insights in their prices and help them optimizing them afterwards.
Thank you, Thorsten. You are so on time. Thank you for that. Thank you for a great presentation and walking us through the system. That was really great. And I believe that everyone appreciates it here because they actually were able to see the system, how it works, what we offer to the customer, and envision it. Not only envision it, what you're saying, but actually being able to see it in real time. And one of you actually had one question where you can find recordings from last webinar, and if you can share it with your coworkers. Yes, you can share it with your coworkers, of course. You are our partners, so everything we do here is for you. You can find recordings from our last session on our partner portal. There's a small picture, and I don't know if you can see it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to share the link, but on our partner portal, under content, and under, I believe, sales, you will find Lightning and accelerators, just click on it and you'll find there recording from a previous webinar, Lightning partition, Lightning demo recordings made up by our solution strategist just for you, and also documentation that you can reuse as well. And if you want to have Lightning partition, or you would like to have maybe a partition of this accelerators that have been shown today, just reach out to your partner manager and we'll be happy to provide it for you as well. I hope this answered the question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mariana, and thank you, Thorsten. I swear every time I see these accelerator packages in live action, I get just as excited as the first time, because yeah, the value is, it's exclusive to the market. It's a great, compelling starting point for current customers and prospective partners. And one of the greater parts that I just noticed is that it seems like one partner answered another partner's question. So that makes me very excited to see, and I love to see it. So I know we have about 5 to 6 minutes left. Please feel free to submit any additional questions. I'll give everybody a few minutes just in case. And if there aren't anything, and Thorsten and Mariana did such a great job that they answered everything, then we can close this up early and give everybody a few minutes back. So if
Matt, I think
questions,
someone just raised his hand, but I'm not sure if they can speak.
Yeah, unfortunately, they cannot speak. So if you do have a question, if you could please drop it in the chat, and we'll be sure to answer that before we close right now.
Yeah, while waiting for questions, I can show you a little teaser of what's developed right now at the moment. You've seen these sales insights, but of course, we want to do more analytics, more descriptive to our customers, what they can do in the futures. And so we have brand new accelerator called Customer Insights. So it's very briefly, it's calculating customer health scores by showing trends of the customers for different KPIs. And it's showing me healthy and not so healthy customers. It's showing me a normal, low, problematic customers by health score, by revenue. And you can then use this and look into the customer. So even starting looking into one customer, why he is successful or why he's healthy or not. So you have very detailed analysis like trends and the portfolio the customer is buying. What is his waterfall? Is he buying special versus commodity products? Is he buying how much is he buying high volume products or low volume products? What are the transactions in the last 12 months and so on? So you can have really detailed insights in your customer, and then there will be even more layer where you can dive into your customer portfolio and provide them with selling opportunities like upsells or pricing opportunities and so on. So there will be very descriptive customer insights from the global view to the customer view and to the customer portfolio view, where you can really plan your actions with one customer.
Hey, Thorsten, someone asked if they can do simulations. Is that possible, or analysis with this?
Not with the Sales Insight package. So Sales Insight is really looking at what is on there. Simulations is not really ready in Accelerator, but of course PriceFX is capable to do simulations. And there are many work streams going into this direction, mainly in customer actions. So in Quote Configurator, there will be a deal planner where you can look at your customers and make simulations like what it would behave when it would be different. And in price setting, you can of course create simulations and can look into the future. There's not ready to use Accelerator, so this will be afterwards project work at the moment, or maybe there will be something in the future.
Great. So it seems like on the modules and the platform itself, absolutely, but for the accelerators for now, not yet.
Yes, that's it.
Great. Thank you, Thorsten. Let's see, and hopefully that answers your question. So if there's no additional questions, I just want to thank everyone for attending today. We hope you see the value in these exclusive offerings and your ability to leverage this. If you do have any additional questions, please reach out to me, Thorsten, or Mariana, your partner manager, and let us know what those questions are so we can assist you with that. We'll make sure the recordings are available as soon as we can after for your additional colleagues that would like to come back and revisit these. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, thank you for attending today and look forward for the next part of the series coming in the next month or two. And we hope everyone stays healthy, stay safe, and we look forward to connecting again here soon in the future. Thank you, Mariana, and thank you, Thorsten, again for a great presentation.
Thank you, Matt. Pleasure as always. And we are looking forward to the next one and hopefully to close some good deals with those accelerators. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for your time.
Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.